Okay, last problem, and this really is the last video for section 5.1. I apologize there are so many, but I try to break them up so they're a little bit shorter. So let's analyze the polynomial function negative x squared times x minus 3 times x plus 4. So first, let's find all our intercepts. So for the x-intercepts, we have negative x squared equals 0. We have x minus 3 equals 0. And we have x plus 4 equals 0. So on the first one, we divide both sides by -1. That gives us x squared equals 0. And then we can take the square root of both sides and x equals 0. Second one, we just add 3 to both sides, so x equals +3. And the third one, we subtract 4 from both sides, so x equals -4. Okay, so let's write our intercepts and the multiplicities and whether or not they touch or cross based on the multiplicity. So our x-intercepts are 0, 3, -4. The multiplicity of 0 is 2. Remember, even multiplicities are where they touch the axis. 3 has a multiplicity of 1, so it crosses, and -4 has a multiplicity of 1, so it crosses. For the y-intercept, we let x equals 0, so f of 0 is -0 squared times 0 minus 3 times 0 plus 4, which is 0. So that's our y-intercept. Now, our degree, remember we add up the multiplicities, so our degree is 4. The number of turning points is the degree minus 1, so that's 3. And now our end behavior. So our end behavior this time is like a negative x to the 4th. Why is it like a negative x to the 4th? Because we have this negative in front of everything. So what happens with a negative x to the 4th? That means it's upside down, right? So that means that f of x goes to -infinity as x goes to -infinity, and f of x goes to -infinity as x goes to +infinity. So now let's put all this together and graph it. Let's put our x-intercepts on the graph. So we have 0, 0. We have 3, 0. And we have -4, 0. Our y-intercept happens to be 0, 0 also, so it's already been plotted when we plotted one of our x-intercepts. Now what do we know? Since it starts at, when x is very small, y is very small, so we know it starts by coming from down in quadrant 3 somewhere. When it gets to the -4 intercept, it crosses the axis then at some point it's got to turn around and come back down to get to 0. At 0, it just touches, which means then it goes back up again. And at some point it turns around and comes back down to 3, crosses at 3, and continues on down to negative infinity. So it should look something like that. Now remember, you can always use Desmos.com to check these. And I'm going to pull that up right now so we can look at it. So if I go to Desmos.com and I hit the graphing calculator right here. Sorry, let me get this in the screen better. There we go. So I am going to type our equation, which is y equals negative x squared times x minus 3 times x plus 4. And remember, to get an exponent, you hit shift and the 6 key. That's the little caret that looks like a little arrow pointing up. So let me back out a little bit. And okay, we got it a little bit wrong. Our left point should be higher than our right point. But basically, we got it correct. And since we don't know how to find these turning points yet, then we did the best we could. Okay. So that is finally it for section 5.1. 5.5 will be the next section.